Alice was a young artist working hard every day, but no matter how much effort she put in, she could not earn enough to pay for the treatment her ailing mother desperately needed. One gloomy evening, when hope felt as dim as the overcast sky, Alice met John, a kind yet wealthy man, known for his generosity. John listened carefully as Alice described her struggle and the rising medical bills that threatened her mother's life. With compassion in his eyes, John offered to pay for the treatment on one strict condition, that he spend one night with her. The offer made Alice's heart sink. The idea hurt her deeply. Yet, faced with the stark choice between her mother's life and her own feelings, she chose to accept John's proposal, hoping it might be a small sacrifice for a much larger gain. 9 months later, Alice gave birth to a baby boy she named Sam. Despite the joy his arrival brought, Alice carried a heavy secret. She decided to keep John's part in Sam's beginning hidden, fearing the truth might bring scandal and further hurt her already fragile life. Every day, as she cared for her mother and watched Sam grow, the memory of that desperate night remained a quiet shadow in her heart. She often wondered if she had done the right thing, knowing that her difficult choice had saved a life, but left her with a secret that would shape her future. This secret, though kept hidden, was a constant reminder of the night when hope and desperation intertwined in a decision that would change all their lives. After the difficult events in the city, Alice, her mother, and little Sam moved to a peaceful village in the countryside. The new setting was a welcome change from the noisy streets and busy life they had known. In the quiet of nature, the family slowly built a simple, steady life. Each morning, the sun rose over gentle hills and fields, and Alice would take Sam for walks along winding country roads, where fresh air and soft breezes replaced the city's constant clamor. In this calm environment, the warmth of community slowly began to heal old wounds. Neighbors greeted them with kind smiles and invited them to share simple meals together. Even though the pace of life was slower, there was a deep sense of connection in the small town. As Sam grew, his natural talent for art began to blossom. With every crayon and brushstroke, he filled blank canvases with images of nature, joyful scenes, and even abstract forms that hinted at feelings too big to name. Yet, as his skill improved, so did his questions about his father. In the quiet moments, when the countryside seemed to whisper secrets on the wind, Sam's innocent inquiries about the man who had helped save his mother's life stirred a sense of guilt in Alice. She had hidden the truth, hoping to protect him from the complications of the past. In the gentle rhythm of their new life, the secret loomed quietly, a delicate burden that made Alice long for honesty, even as she treasured the peace they had finally found. Years passed, and Sam grew into a curious and bright child whose imagination shone through in every drawing he made. At the age of 9, his school organized an art exhibition to showcase the creative talents of its young students. Sam's work, filled with vibrant colors and whimsical designs, caught the attention of many, especially a particular portrait featuring a wide, joyful smile. The town hall buzzed with excitement as parents, teachers, and neighbors admired the artwork on display. Among the visitors was John, the kind man whose help had once come with a heavy price. Wandering through the rows of artwork, John's eyes settled on Sam's portrait, and an unexpected feeling stirred within him. There was something very familiar about that smile, a mirror of a past moment he had long tried to forget. As he stood there, lost in thought, John began to wonder if the bright-eyed boy before him could be his own. Driven by this unexpected realization, John discreetly inquired about Sam's background, and soon a DNA test was arranged. The results confirmed what John had suspected all along. He was Sam's biological father. This revelation sent shockwaves through the family. News of the test results soon led to a bitter legal battle over custody, and the warmth of Sam's art began to darken. The joyful colors he once used to express his inner world started to fade, replaced by somber shades reflecting the tension and confusion growing at home. The exhibition, once a celebration of youthful creativity, became the starting point for a conflict that threatened to unravel the tender bond between Sam and the two adults who loved him in very different ways. The revelation of Sam's true parentage set off a storm of emotions that quickly disrupted the fragile peace the family had built. John, now fully aware of his connection to Sam, resolved to play a greater role in his life. He believed that he could offer the care and stability that the little boy deserved, and thus decided to fight in court for custody. Meanwhile, Alice felt a deepening sense of fear and anxiety. She worried that admitting the truth would not only shatter the life they had forged in the quiet countryside, but would also expose them to relentless media scrutiny. Court hearings became a painful routine, with both parents caught in a web of legal arguments and personal regrets. During this time, Sam found himself caught in the crossfire of adult conflicts that he could neither understand nor control. His once bright and hopeful artwork began to change noticeably. In place of cheerful scenes, he started drawing fierce dragons with sharp eyes and swirling flames, their features marked by heavy, dark shadows. These drawings became a window into his troubled soul, reflecting the inner battle between light and dark that raged within him. Every new piece he created seemed to tell the story of a child forced to grow up too quickly, grappling with emotions that were far too big for his small heart. The community around them watched with growing concern, witnessing the transformation of a young artist whose work had once been full of promise, now clouded by the sorrow of family strife. The strain of constant conflict had finally taken its toll on young Sam. Once full of life and creativity, he began to retreat into silence. The joyful bursts of color that used to fill his paintings were replaced by dark, heavy tones, mirroring the pain he felt inside. At home, the atmosphere was tense. Alice and John, both stubborn in their ways, continued to argue about what was best for Sam. Their disagreements filled the house with an unbearable heaviness, and even simple moments like sharing dinner became fraught with unspoken grief. One evening, after yet another exhausting day of heated debates and painful legal proceedings, the family sat together in the living room. The silence was broken when Sam, in a small, trembling voice, said, "I need both of you, but not like this." His words, soft yet filled with profound sorrow, pierced the thick air. For the first time, Alice and John saw clearly the hurt their conflicts had caused their beloved son. The realization struck them deeply. If they continued fighting, they might lose the very light that kept them going. In that heartfelt moment, the family agreed to try a new way of being together. They sought the help of a family counselor, someone who could guide them through their pain and help them understand each other better. In the sessions that followed, the family slowly began to open up about their fears, regrets, and hopes. Although the path ahead was uncertain, that quiet plea from Sam marked the beginning of a long journey toward healing and change, a journey where love would be their guiding light. After that turning point in their family counseling sessions, Alice and John began to learn the value of unity and compromise for Sam's sake. They realized that the endless conflicts and hidden truths had hurt Sam more than any legal battle ever could. Slowly, the walls of resentment and sorrow started to crumble as they made a conscious decision to work together. John began visiting their countryside home more frequently, not only during tense court sessions, but also during quiet evenings and weekend picnics. He learned to appreciate the simple moments, sharing a warm meal, laughing over a silly joke, or watching Sam as he returned to his drawing with renewed enthusiasm. Together, they began to create a new routine that put Sam's happiness at the center of everything. During family time, John would sometimes sit with Sam and share stories about art, even mixing in gentle lessons about life and business in a way that made sense to a child. Slowly, Sam's drawings began to show a new blend of light and shadow, colors that told a story of pain, but also of hope and understanding. Each new piece of art was like a small step toward healing, a sign that the young boy was starting to feel the love and support of both his parents. Even on difficult days, the small family found comfort in knowing that they were no longer alone in their struggles. In their efforts to mend broken bonds, Alice and John rediscovered the true meaning of family, a bond that could overcome even the deepest divisions when nurtured with care and genuine love. Just as the family began to find hope in their newfound unity, a serious challenge emerged from John's past. His own father, a stern and influential man in the business world, voiced his disapproval of the changes he saw in John's life. In a stern warning, he threatened that if John continued to support Alice and Sam, he would lose not only his share in the family business, but also his reputation among the elite. This ultimatum forced John into a heart-wrenching dilemma. On one hand, the familiar life of wealth and power beckoned, a life his father had always valued. On the other, there was the small, loving family that had slowly begun to mend after so much pain. John spent many sleepless nights pondering his future, torn between the security of his old life and the uncertain promise of a humble, love-filled existence. Ultimately, when he looked into Sam's hopeful eyes and recalled the healing moments they had shared, John made his decision. He chose love over money. With a heavy but determined heart, he resigned from his high-paying job and stepped away from the power and status that once defined him. The news spread quickly, and soon the media painted the story as a scandal. Despite the public uproar and the disapproval of his father, John remained steadfast. He knew that the true wealth in life was measured not in money or status, but in the strength of family bonds. His choice, though difficult, marked a new chapter, a chapter in which love and unity would be the family's guiding principles, even in the face of adversity. In the wake of John's courageous decision, the family embraced a new beginning, full of hope and simplicity. Determined to turn the page on their troubled past, John used his remaining savings to open a small art center in the local community. The center quickly became a warm and welcoming space where people of all ages gathered to share their creativity and find joy in art. Sam, whose talent had grown stronger through all his trials, continued to paint with renewed passion. His canvases were filled with a mix of gentle light and deep shadows, each stroke a testament to the struggles he had overcome and the hope that lay ahead. In the midst of these positive changes, Alice and John realized that their love for each other had grown stronger as well. They decided to celebrate their bond in a simple, heartfelt wedding ceremony held outdoors under the open sky. Surrounded by close friends and neighbors, the couple exchanged vows that promised to always support and care for one another. At the reception, Sam proudly presented a special painting he had created, a picture of 3 dragons, each one symbolizing a member of their family. The dragons, once fierce and wild in his early drawings, were now depicted in soft, harmonious colors, a sign that even the most troubled pasts could lead to a bright future. With every smile and every shared moment, the family embraced their fresh start, confident that their unity and love would carry them forward, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Years later, the quiet countryside home had transformed into a place of inspiration and hope. Sam had grown into a talented artist whose work was admired far beyond their small town. His paintings, rich with the colors of both light and dark, told the story of a family that had overcome hardship through love and forgiveness. The art center John had founded blossomed into a beloved community hub where creativity flourished and neighbors supported one another through both joy and sorrow. Alice and John, now living together in a modest yet happy home, often spent quiet evenings reminiscing about their long journey. They found peace in the gentle routines of everyday life, whether it was cooking dinner together, watching the sunset, or painting side by side with Sam in their bright sunlit studio. The scars of the past had faded, replaced by the deep bonds they had formed through years of shared struggles and triumphs. Even John's father, who had once threatened to tear them apart, had passed away, leaving behind a legacy of regret that served as a lesson to all. In one final cherished memory, the family gathered in the studio, painting dragons on a large canvas. The dragons, once symbols of conflict, had become emblems of unity and strength. In that moment, they all understood that the greatest treasure in life was not wealth or power, but the enduring love and connection they shared, a light that would guide them forever.